All right, I don't know what time it is on your clock, but I know what I'm getting ready for. It is time for the Professional CISO Podcast with David Malaco.
All right, gang, today, a little bit different. A lot of things that we talk about from a CISO perspective or from a cybersecurity perspective that has to do with communications, particularly around breach, board, public, regulatory. This is the guy we want to have on. Our guest is David Chamberlin. He is currently the Managing Director of Strategic Communications Advisory Team at Orrick, Herrington Sutcliffe LLP. How did you get involved with cybersecurity communications aspect?
We got breached, as everybody knows. The Chinese did a number on Nortel, and all of our stuff ended up going out the door. That's the first place that I got familiar with cybersecurity and breaches.
What area of your work do you find the most interesting?
I love solving problems. I love coming into a situation going, I don't know how we fix this. And weeks or months later, being able to look back and go, oh my gosh, look what we did.
Right. If you don't communicate to people in the right way, nobody knows what you're doing, nobody knows your intent, and thereby you cannot develop that trust that you're talking about.
Truth builds trust. Trust builds relationship. Relationship makes almost anything possible.
Right.
I'm always thinking about, all right, I can be truthful. Doesn't mean that I'm 100% transparent. In most crisis situations, you can't. That takes you into the liability area. If I can be truthful, if I can build that trust, if I can build that relationship, there are a lot of keys on the keyboard that I can play.
Right.
Let's figure out how we play it and how we develop our song.
You're not a CISO. You don't sit in the org. You've been a critical part of what happens on the communications side, but seeing all the folks that you've seen, especially in probably their worst times, do we need to professionalize the role of CISO?
Everybody that's not kind of the CEO or CFO, they're all fighting for a seat at the table. In my profession, and I think it's very applicable to CISOs, is when I'm talking to folks that do my job from a communications problem solving type thing, if you're just an expert at communications in my case, that's not helpful. You have to be a business expert first, and then a technology expert, or then a marketing expert, or then a communications expert. I don't see a lot of that.
What should they be thinking about on the daily when it comes to communication?
There are key relationships that need to develop. A lawyer and I that I work with wrote a piece about how communicators should work with lawyers and how lawyers need to be thinking about communicators. And the first thing that both of us talk about is you got to have a relationship.
We're professionalizing the CISO role, so please subscribe to the Professional CISO Podcast.